Hey everybody, welcome. My name's Justin Dixon. This is my first ever YouTube video, but anyway, as you can see by the title, this is going to be episode 1 of my FIFA 19 career mode using Bayer Leverkusen. But I'm going to get out as I talk. I'm going to go ahead and start making the career as it is. So things you'll notice are different. These pictures are obviously different. That is because I'm running a mod. I believe the guy's name is Dr. Fidel. And the mod encompasses a lot of things. I mean, it's got a ton of graphics updates, face packs, boots, pitch details, stadium detail. I mean, it's amazing. And you're probably asking, why are you just now starting your career mode? What is it? In June, when new FIFA, I believe, is dropping in September. Well, as we know how FIFA is in the first place, they are pretty reluctant to add any details to career mode. Career mode has been pretty much the same exact copy and paste with a different color scheme for relatively the last 4 years, maybe 5. So I don't see any more big changes happening, especially with them announcing on FIFA 20 the Volta mode and the Street Soccer. So I'm going to go ahead and start this career mode, and the reason being, which you will see the reason soon, because these teams are actually the rosters are updated as of 2 days ago, I believe. So Hazard, Jovic is on Real Madrid, Brandt's with Dortmund, so I won't have him anymore. I can't focus right now trying to do both of these, but as you can see, well, I just backed out there. But Stadium Europa is my home stadium. I'm going to go ahead and rename that the Bay Arena as it is in real life. If you're wondering why I'm using Leverkusen, not only do they have a great youth system and youth talent in general, they are my favorite club. Even though I'm American, it's a long story as to how that happened. I'm going to start on ultimate difficulty, strictly because I have played a couple games with this mod on legendary on default sliders, and it's been a little too easy. So I am going to accept the friendly tournaments. So if I get blasted in those, I might go back down to legendary, or might use some custom sliders that I were using before this mod, but we'll see. As the Champions League goes, I want to play this as if it's the 2019-2020 season, which is why Brandt's not on the team. I am going to sign Moussa Diaby like Leverkusen did today in real life. It is the 14th. Also are going to be targeting a couple other guys that Leverkusen are intending on signing. But I would like to get the custom Champions League, because we will be performing the Champions League this year. But then again, I don't feel like having to go through a whole randomized system on my computer and whatnot. So for now, I'm just going to find a German team, which is probably Schalke, which that's a pretty weak group. I'd like to play in a tougher group. Hoffenheim. Let's see, this is a decent group here with Olympia Lyon and Man City. So I will put myself in this group. A little voice crack there. And that's how we'll do that for now. And I know it's a little unrealistic, but it is what it is. This video also, it might be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes long. I'm not sure, it could be longer. I'm not the best editor, so I am just I really don't like having to get too in detail with editing. I'd rather just play through, and depending on how it goes and the feedback, I might end up cutting just the highlights of the game, or which today I'll probably get through that first game. Who is that? Monaco. Yeah, I'll play Monaco through the first game, cut through some highlights, and that'll probably be the end of this video. But for now, I'm going to show you guys. I'm gonna set everything up, and we'll go from there. So for now, also I'll show you guys what I'll be using. I'm using something called it's the cheat table made. Let's see. Well, I can't. His name's not on here. Oh, there it is. It's Aranaktu. I'm a Patreon subscriber to him, so I get this cheat table. Pretty much, along with the mod I already have, this allows for tons of edits. I can edit potential player attributes. I can change the date players. So say I sign a youth academy prospect, very good prospect, but he's not good enough to make the first team. Don't want him sitting on the bench. And traditional FIFA, I can't loan him out for at least until the next transfer window, because of he'll have the recently joined club won't move again. So I can change that using this. So the first thing I'll usually do is I set my manager rating to 99 no matter what. That way I cannot get fired, just to keep from having to restart and pretty much ruin the career mode itself. Free five-star scouts, unlimited releasing players. I don't see why that isn't standard as it is. I also take out the global transfer network. That way, anytime I look up a player, I automatically know his overall. And that's more because in real life, it's not a complete guess, and I'd rather just know instantly rather than having to wait, 4 weeks before I get an actual report in. Same thing with morale. I keep happier players. This keeps my 55 overall youth striker asking to play in the Champions League final, and keeping him from being wanting to leave the club. And then one of the last things I'll do is the youth academy. And these 3 boxes you see me checking now, that allows for the youngest players, or the age group, instead of being anywhere from 15 to 17 or 15 to 18 as a standard FIFA, this mod allows me to, every player I recruit or I scout will only be 12 to 16 years old. And on top of that, youth player retire at age 30. That just means that at the end of the year, if I don't call them up, they're not going to leave. So I can keep them in the youth academy all the way until they're 30, which I always said I wouldn't do, but it just keeps them from leaving the club. And also, this little check mark here, this just allows me to call up a player at as young as 12 years old, which usually my rule of thumb is 15 is the youngest I'll do, and otherwise I'll leave them in there for the time being. Excuse me. As you see, there's plenty of details. I mean, I can always have a 95 potential player, 100% chance for 5-star weak foot, blah blah blah. I mean, you can read, you can see it. The last thing I check are the sim match. I turn off the stamina when I sim a match, just because the computer does not suffer from stamina. So say I sim a match and I have a game 2 days later, and the computer also has a game 2 days later. And if I sim that game, when I go play 2 days later, the computer is going to have 100% stamina, and I'll only have guys with anywhere from 60 to 80% stamina, so it just kind of levels the playing field there. So the first thing I like to do is usually hire 3 scouts. It doesn't matter, obviously, because they're all 5-star, and their location doesn't matter. That has never really affected anything, surprisingly, in FIFA. But the places, when I'm playing in the Bundesliga, the places like this in my scouts are obviously Germany, just due to the homegrown rule, Austria, and Turkey, because Turkey, believe it or not, accounts for a very, very high percentage of Bundesliga players, and my favorite player is also Turkish, who would be Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Anyway, I'll set up the global transfer network a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 signings, those being Dani Olmo, who Leverkusen actually are targeting in real life, along with Odegaard, but I'm not going to be signing him quite yet. I am going to go ahead and put him on my short list, just so I can keep tabs on him. And the other player is obviously Musa, if I can spell it, Diaby, and he actually completed his move today to Leverkusen. That was quite the steal for them, and the only reason Leverkusen pulled that off was due to financial fair play. So another example of where the cheat table comes in. If you see here, Diaby says they will not sell this player. Oh, okay, never mind, they will. Okay, see, they're not willing to sell a player, so I'll go ahead and just skip and pay the release clause, which is only 13 million. Leverkusen spent 15 million today. Let's see what he'll take here. Sporadic, that'll work. He'll actually probably play decent bit this year. Give him a 5-year deal. No release clause. Release clauses are more of a hassle than anything. And those wages and appearances look fine to me. Dani Olmo is going to be the next. Usually he'll go for about 20. Anywhere from 20 to 22, and they usually like to add a sell-on clause, but we'll see. I'll just throw 20 on just to begin with, if I can make it work. Yeah, there's a sell-on fee and a little bit more, but that's fine with us. We still have 10 million in the budget, which I will be using to, or I will be adding to as I sell some players here in a second. He'll be replacing Aranguiz for most, or not Aranguiz, Brandt. That's what he'll be replacing. Interested to see how Leverkusen is going to do in real life this year with Brandt leaving. I'm not going to allow the release clause. That is a very cheap release clause for a player of his potential. This is always the hard part, trying to guess what a young player should get, because I am no chief financial officer of a basketball, thinking of the finals of a soccer team, so I would not know. Let's go with goals, and if he hits 10, he'll get a nice $1 million bonus. That's a pretty good deal. Wow, I didn't want it. Okay. So he doesn't want a goal, but that doesn't make any sense, but that's FIFA for you. I'm very excited to start this. I've been wanting to do it for a while, just with work schedule and trying to balance time and hobbies and girlfriend and whatnot. It's been tough, but as you can see, we're setting up the Scouting Networks here. Go through all these emails. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up my lineup. This is the formation I always play, no matter what the team is. It's weird not having music in my ear because I have copyright issues, but I will put music on the overlay on the edit. But anyway, this is somewhat what my lineup will usually look like. I guess I'll go ahead and say it. I like Havertz to play in a false 9 role. If I can, I'm on the wrong. There we go. I like him to play as a false 9. He'll get a lot of touches throughout the game. I'll set Bender as my captain, as in real life. I'll have Valen taking every free kick, except for I have Aaron Greaves take the short free kicks on the right side. It's a little easier to curve those in. From a left corner, I like a right-footed player taking them, and I'll have Havertz taking the left-footed corner. Havertz will also be my penalty taker this year. As you'll probably notice, I've upped his overall to 85 after his absolutely stellar year this year. I believe he had 18 goals in the Bundesliga, so that was something special. And for the rest, let's see. Bellarabi's obviously going to be in the starting 11. I like to take Sven out and put Lars there, and then just have Sven on the bench. I usually will sell him just because I have decent enough depth with my center backs as it is. Go ahead and get Diaby in the subs. Put Bender. Let's leave Bender out of it. Who else? I don't like Baumgartlinger. I usually sell him as well. I do like Alario. He's a decent sub. Paulinho is probably going to stay with me for the full year, and Diaby will probably stay with me for the full year. Did I? Okay, there's Olmo. He's already in. I'm struggling to speak today. This is just about my balanced formation. There's not much else to do to it. However, Bellarabi will be subbed for Paulinho. Bailey would be subbed for Diaby. And that third sub usually just depends on the where we're at in the game. Set my ultra defensive formation, which will be ultra defensive is exactly how it sounds. I usually drop and just add a extra center back, and then I play. Although it won't let me list them as defensive mids, they practically play like defensive mids. Man, goodness. Anyway, I'll see if I can organize this a little bit. That will work for me. And the tactics, I like to switch to drop back, obviously, and I like to play the long ball over the top. Everything there looks fine. Let's go back to balance, make sure I got my tactics set here. I like to press after a loss. I like running the fast build up, and I like a decent bit of people in the box on corners and crosses. Now moving on to defensive, it's pretty much just this standard formation here. I'm gonna use a defensive mid, and that's gonna be Aranguiz. He's a decent defender, and again, the rest of it's pretty much standard. Everything there looks fine. I gotta set my tactics for this one as well. We'll play long ball and defensive, or fast build up and defensive as well. Okay. Now attacking, this one's a little different. On on attacking, I like to run with 2 strikers. So I'll put Vaughn on the left, Havertz on the right. And I'll usually play my attacking mid. This is going to be super mess with me because it's not going to be centered. There we go. And play my wings up. And I really got to trust the back line here to hold strong tactics. We're going to do pressure on the heavy touch and the fast build up. Everything here stays the same. And then the last one's going to be our ultra attacking formation, which is going to be 3 in the back, and it's going to be the please Lord let us score. So that's not the one I like. There it is. We'll go with this one. Nope, actually. There we go. We're going to have Havertz here. I have Olmo playing the attacking mid position. Visor's going to move up to the right side here. He's a decent attacker as a fullback. And the rest of this is going to stay how it is. Tactics, going to be constant pressure. Fast build up again. And yeah, max out the corners and the free kicks. Most of the time they'll switch your stuff around even after when you leave and come back. So let's see if it does that here, or if we're good to go. And it did. For some reason it always switches stuff around. So let's see. I mean, it moved like just about everybody. All right, everything else looks fine. Now let's just check everything else. All right, all that looks standard. All right, now the next thing we're going to be on to is we are going to start looking for players to sell. I am going to be holding on to Bailey for at least 1 year. I might end up giving him away. As you can see, Havertz has a face scan in. It's not great. It's not terrible. Taz actually looks pretty decent. Aranguiz, we are going to go ahead and transfer list him, and Paulinho or Diaby might take his spot. That's just because he is 29. He's at his peak value now, and he probably won't command any more than 30 million at this point. Sven, I don't have no use for him. I've got plenty of center backs. Dragovic and Baumgartlinger are the guys I usually always send off. Sam Streck, where is he? He's going to go on the loan list. Jan Baller also is going to, well, no, and see, this is where this comes in handy. I can use my cheat table here. I use my player editor, and I go here to, let's see. Yeah, the player join team date, and I just move that back a year or two, and it doesn't change. The only thing it changes is when the game thinks he joined my team. So now if I come back to it, I'm able to loan list him, and that's a very, very useful technique. Everything else is fine. I don't want to send anybody too many people on loan. I might at the winter transfer window, but just for now, I just want to make sure I have plenty of depth. Also, as this mod add, like I said, all this I'm sure looks totally different. I can change kit numbers from here, see my injury list. I can also create a new player and put him on any team. And then the rest is pretty standard here. Our group here, Benfica, Monaco, and Everton. It's a pretty stout group. In Group B, they also look pretty decent. It's a good thing we're playing Lyon, because we will be seeing them in the Champions League. Hopefully we get to play them. Hopefully they do well enough. That'll give us a little insight on how they're doing this year. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. This mod does cause a occasional crash, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get any transfer offers before the first window. And there it is for Dragovic. That's fine. That's above market value. Like I said, I'm not going to have any use for him, so he can go ahead and go. Kirschbaum wants to get a start. He is not going to. However, I am going to be playing a little bit of a different lineup for this first game. I'm just going around seeing what we got, young guy wise. Let's see. What do we want? I'll have Shrek. I'll have Diaby start for Bailey. Dominant Core. I'll have him start for Iron Geese. I'll have Havertz start just to keep things level in the middle. Paulinho's going to start on the wing. Let's see what else we have here. Shrek, he'll be one of the first subs off the bench. Both of my center backs are going to come out for the two young guys here, and they won't play at all. There's just no need for them. I would like Volland to get some action. Key stealing as well. I have no use for Aaron Geese to play this game. I'm going to leave Herdecki in. He's going to start at the half. I'm going to let Oskan get his get 45 minutes in. But everything else here looks fine. Jan Belair, I'll sub him in for Bellarabi. I'll just have these guys leg it out for this this first game. Everything looks fine, so let's kick it off. Again, a lot of things look different, but the stadium atmospheres are great. They're lovely. There's new training modes and whatnot, but we're not going to fool with any of those. We're just going to get right into it. Oh wow, my music's turned off. My music is turned off because of copyright issues. I'll have to turn it back on.
Preseason tournament. Yeah, and these tournaments much more of a big deal these days, and the fans certainly play a bigger part. Match here via Leverkusen against Monaco.
As you can see, we have new banners and whatnot throughout the
heartbeat
stadium.
Of the central midfield players, and we've got a new one making his debut today. What do you make of it, Alan?
Well, I'm impressed by the signing. I think he'll give them a bit more composure in the middle of the park. He can get up and down, and he's a good pass for the ball.
Nice and rainy day for our first game of the year.
Now, Alan, shouldn't they, with the signing of this winger?
Yeah, they were a bit narrow, I thought, previously. So this will widen the pitch a bit. Should be a good addition.
All right, let's get it started.
It's really interesting, Alan, to see these pre-season tournaments, and we're in the early stages of this one here in Europe, of course.
Havertz begins it.
Players maybe
he's going to kick it out to
a little
Olmo.
bit fitter than the others, and one or two newcomers getting chances as well.
And he's through. Dominant core, not the best finisher, and he does decent there. Probably should have taken a touch earlier, but it's the best we can do for now. As you can see, the mod allows for
in goes the corner.
Allows for more graphics onto the field, such as ticker tape and whatnot. Dominant core with the left foot. Dominant core is on the ball just a bit. Probably shouldn't have taken it from there, but that's another chance wasted. Play up to Havertz. Havertz down to focus that in there. I'm gonna have to look up how to pronounce. Is it Pajanapo? That's just how I'll pronounce it for this episode. I'm gonna have to look up a better pronunciation after this episode is done. What a header from Diaby on the through ball. Played it back down. Almost sticks with it. Oh wow, a late foul call.
Just a free kick.
Olmo was going to be on. He had the shot powered up, ready to go. Monaco barely sneaks away from a 1-0 start to this game. It's going to jumpstart this counter attack, which is going to fizzle out. Good work there on the tackle. Havertz is through. Havertz with the finish, and he kicks it right at the keeper. Not much, could have done better there. But that was a tough angle, to be fair, especially on his trying to hit it with his left foot, which it is his strong foot, but from that angle, it's a tough call.
Swung in from the corner.
Pass comes in. It's going to be headed away. That should go out of bounds for a throw. Havertz on the throw to Paulinho. Back down to Havertz. The ball's whipped in. He's a man, and it's headed away. They're working the ball pretty decent here. As long as that jockey, it should be all right. That should fizzle out to Herdecki. Good save by him. Not too stressful there. Great through ball there. That ball is going to just skip through, and Lopez somehow kicks it out. What a poor touch from him.
Well, that would be a throw.
Also, guys, this is kind of my style here, laid back. I'm not going to do all the fake enthusiasm you'll see most YouTubers do nowadays, which I assume is geared more towards children. Not my kind of style. Pajanapo, we got a ball coming through. Diaby coming through. That looks like a foul. They're not going to call it. Very controversial there. He did get part of the ball, but not without destroying Diaby first. That was a very, very questionable no call.
Here's Adrian Silva. Attacking now. The shot's on.
Wow, what a shot from Falcao there. An absolute screamer with his right foot. That might have hit the... I think it only hit the post once, but my goodness. That had some serious pace behind it.
Right.
Looking at the replay here. Decent through ball. Another quick flick. Wow, that was just beautiful team play there. Nothing Herdecki could do, or any goalkeeper for that matter, on that shot. And we are down 1-0 to begin the year. Paulinho down the visor.
I like the look of this attack.
Quick passes being made. Havertz with another good pass. Through ball to Core. Core tries to make something happen, and he dribbles right into the defender.
So
Weak first half. The attacking third definitely struggled. Defense has actually been very good. There's nothing you could do about that last strike. Very good team play.
And on the first 45 minutes for this new club, how do you think he's done?
Definitely some work to be done here. Let's go ahead and make some subs. We're going to take Pajlanopoulos out. So we're going to put in Volland. And Sam Streck is going to come in for Core, who's been pretty poor at the beginning of the game. Also, forgot to do it, Austin's going to come in for Herdecki, who got pretty unlucky there towards the end, but it was just a great strike. Good tackle, or interception by Olmo. Doesn't come off though.
Play between the two of them.
Another decent shot right at Oskin though. Should be simple. He launches it forward. Olmo wins the ball. Volland's through. Volland's coming through, looking for the first goal of the year, and what a great save by Subasic. Volland could have done a little better placing it, but still, that's going to earn us a corner. Here's the replay here. He kicked it right at Subasic. Should have done better there, but it is what it is. Havertz with the in-swinging cross. Punched out by Subasic. Danny Olmo on the ball, looking to do something here.
As they build this attack.
Paulinho looking for help. Back to Olmo. Up top to Havertz, who shoots one. Oh, it goes a little wide. Couldn't tell just how wide that was. It did appear close though. That was his weak foot going for the curled shot in top 90, but it doesn't come off. Down to Alario, up to Volland, who strikes it, takes the deflection off Ronaldo. It's going to go out for a corner. Bailey swings it in. It's headed back, takes a deflection, looking to finish, and Subasic somehow comes away with that ball. One or two great saves there. That was just unlucky for Leverkusen. We couldn't find a way to put it through.
Good reading of the play.
Ball down to Alario, back up. Great play here. Bailey looking to finish. No foul given somehow, and Alario couldn't finish it on the second touch. Is that a corner? And it's a goal kick. I don't know what happened there. That definitely looked like that should have been a foul on Bailey. His swinging leg got caught on the defender behind him. He couldn't finish his shot, and the ball scooted out to Alario, who also couldn't finish.
Fabregas. Well, the rain seems to be getting far worse now, but I can only congratulate.
What a through ball. What a shot by... That's Alario. That's Alario's weak foot. What a through ball there. Leverkusen, we get our first goal. We get our first goal of the year.
Here he was, faced by the goalkeeper.
Alario with the ball originally down to Bailey and then back to Alario. Excuse me, Volland and then back to Bailey and then to Alario. Very nice finish there. Not many keepers are going to save that one, regardless of position.
The manager is delighted with the character he's
it's nice to level this game. See if we can't go get a winner now.
Level, both sides. Striding forward, purposefully. Adrian Silva. Cesc Fabregas. Adrian Silva.
Martin's looking to do something dangerous here. Got a man back post, and Oskan with a great save. That ball probably wasn't going in regardless. Still a decent save though. Tough angle on that shot. Poor play from Leverkusen, and that's gonna put the last goal in. 2-1. Last minute of the game. Very, very poor defensive play by us. That's going to put the nail in the coffin. Adrian with still had to put a nice finish on it, but regardless, that was gift wrapped. Headed it right back to him. What a touch flick on. Nice bend on that ball. And that should solidify the win for Monaco. And that's it, folks. As you can hear the crowd erupting, Leverkusen, we are going to drop this game, but do not fear. It is just a friendly. We do have some things to clean up. Also was not near our first squad playing. 9 shots to 6. Possession, they owned the possession most of the game. And their passes, they pass at 90%. So a great game from them. Could have been better from us. Should have been a draw in all fairness. But that is going to most likely wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much if you made it this far and you watched. My plan is, I'm not sure how fast or soon I'll upload. Preferably it's going to be a couple of weeks maybe, depending on my schedule. And a typical episode is probably going to be 2 games, 2 to 3. I probably said 2 games an episode, depending on the circumstance. And then with the transfer windows, probably 1 game, just depending, because I have to show my signings and my youth scouts and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions of who I should sign, I am going to keep this as realistic as possible. So you won't see me signing, Mbappe or anybody. I'm mostly going to be signing German, Austrian, Turkish players, the occasional French or Netherlands player. But for the most part, I am going to abide by the homegrown rule, which is 12 German players in your squad at all times. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.